Okay, namaste everybody. Today Narasimha has some pujas to attend to at the temple, local temple here in Boston. So in his stead, I'll be taking the classes. So let's start with the usual prayers. So we'll start with Ganesha, followed by Brihaspati, and then Hare Ram. So, Om Gnanam Vajnapatinam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspataha Sannam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Vishwatam Jashaninam Vishwarupam Brihaspatiim Varenyam Om Vishnu Paramaham Sada Pashyanti Suraya Divyatam Om Hrim Klim 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 Jagat Prasudhyay Om Hare Ram Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Ram Krishna. Okay, so you said you're interested in. So what we'll do is we'll just touch the basics. So since this is just a couple of hours before Narasimha comes back, so I don't want to change the normal routine of what you were doing. I guess the previous lectures were on Sudarshana Dasa. So I will let Narasimha come back and continue where he left off. In the meanwhile, we'll just focus on the basics. Just to, focusing on the basics is always good. We don't lose anything. We're just strengthening things rather than. So, with that in mind, you guys can ask me questions, and that's one way to start. Or any topic that you want me to start with, you can tell me.
I have a question.
Okay.
So what's the significance of having Arudha Mada in Lagna itself? So if I have 8 and in Lagna.
So the question is, what is the significance of having any Arudha in the Lagna? I think when any Arudha is in the Lagna, that Arudha tends to influence one's life also.
Suppose if I have 8, 3, so communication is from.
Yes. That is true. The person will be focused on communication or some kind of energetic, entrepreneurial kind of nature. Because A3 is all you have to bring the energy of Mars along with it.
So what's the difference if A3 in AL and Lagna?
A3 in AL. No, if A3 is with AL, that means those two Arudas are there in that house. They might tend to influence one another, but that's about it.
But AL will never be with Lagna.
No.
A3
A3 in Lagna is okay. But
Yeah.
She tells what is A3 in Lagna.
Lagna. So
I'm asking what's A3 in
AL, right?
Along with AL.
Along with AL. So as I said, if AL and A3 are together in any house, they tend to influence each other. And depending upon, the planet's influence, one will dominate over the other. But Maharshi Parashara did say that the Arudha Lagna is the most important. Okay. For example, first I'll answer her question. In one of the Bhrigunadis, it is said that when the Arudha of the 9th house, Bhagya Arudha, is in the Lagna, then as time passes by, the person will continue to be fortunate as time passes. So Bhagya Arudha is basically, one of the interpretation is the manifestation of fortune. When fortune rises. Arudha is that which rises. So when fortune rises or manifests, so when such a Arudha comes on the Lagna, the person is a fortunate person. And when the Lord is also closely influencing the Lagna, that is especially so. Because the Lord is the carrier of the effects. is the medium through which it goes. The Aruda shows the circumstances also. So the circumstances is very fortunate circumstances. So the person will be lucky, if things don't go right, something will happen and then, it will, things will get back in place. For example, Narasimha has A3 in Lagna. I think you asked me the other day. Yeah, A11. But if you just take A3, so it will also see, one thing I told her was, you should also see the sign in which it is, and hence that sign will also influence A3. So A3 being the, how how the communication comes across, whether writing or speaking, has the influence of Virgo. So what is the influence of the nature of a Rashi called Virgo? Virgo? Service is one, because it's the natural sixth sign of the zodiac. Very intellectual, more importantly, analytical and perfectionist. Virgo people have a mindset of being perfect all the time. That's why they are always pointing faults. I mean it in a good way. And the thing is, it's not that they are mean or they are trying to point faults in others as in a negative connotation. But even with themselves, they look for strive for perfection. Oh, I want to do this correctly. I want to do this correctly. Narasimha, very rarely he makes mistakes, and when somebody makes mistake, he's the first one to point out. So that's how his communication, even writing, speaking, he wants things to be very correct. Even if there's even if even as a joke you very casually comment something, he is very serious about it. He will say, oh no, this is not actually this, it's actually this. So people might find it irritating. But the thing is, even with himself, such people are very perfection oriented. So that is the answer to how Arudas influence that person and how the sign influences the Aruda and the combination of all this. Going back to your question as to if two Arudas are together, then usually either there has to be a compromise or one goes down and another goes up, because no two can simultaneously coexist together.
Also depends upon the data, right? Because
Yes.
the particular data of the planet is running or not, because after all the house
Yes.
sitting upon will be
Exactly. Exactly.
But if it's Rashi and Dasha, then that particular house, both Arudas are going to remain.
Right.
Which are these?
Right. But then there is an order. Remember the time when the sign gives the three parts of the period. In the sign, even in the sign period, you can break it down as to what Arudas are aspecting the sign and which are in the sign and which are more beneficial will come first. And this is not exactly a science so far. It's not. It's something that is open for research. But one of them will give at one time. No two will same time. You will see many instances when the UL and A6 are together. So, such influences are not good. The A6 is basically how obstacles and disharmony actually. Or also the other thing is if you're looking at it from marriage point of view, the sixth house is the house of celibacy. So,
Why is that?
I beg your pardon?
Why is 6th house the house of celibacy?
It's the 12th to the 7th.
12 to 7. Okay.
So the sixth house is the house of. The other thing is, AL and UL are together. You'll see many cases where it is often a very difficult situation because one has to survive. Either you enhance your image or you compromise and save your marriage. That kind of deal. AL and UL together.
Doesn't always have to be a fight? Can they coexist?
There is no coexistence. One has to survive.
Okay, because it's
Yeah.
manifesting.
Yeah. See, when you want to say coexist, let's say I'm willing to give my image, I'll coexist with you. There is some compromise. One person has to make compromise. In some cases, you'll find both people making compromise, but then the point is both are making compromise.
Because the images are the manifestations are separate.
Yeah. See, the other thing is, going back to the Aruda in houses, I think in one of the charts, I observed that the A9 is in the 7th house. So, what that means is, fortune rises after marriage. Yeah. So, and this is, this is something.
Right now, the chart has like A9 in 7th house.
Which is the Prashna chart.
No, I opened Jagannath Vara,
Jagan-
current position is like that.
Yeah. So what that means is fortune rises after marriage. So these are the things that you have to play around with. So A10 in Lagna is how karma manifests, how your actions manifest in the Lagna. So, such a person is more likely to be an action-oriented, karma-oriented person, typically hard-working. Or the person, A10 is also known as Rajyapada, getting Padvi. So the person may become famous eventually. I mean, famous means, you have to look at Desha Kala Patra. Like for example, one of my friends came from a very remote village in India. He comes from a family of farmers. They have big lands. His father is a farmer, agriculturist. And then this guy is the only guy who did graduation, did his engineering. He came to US, did his masters. He flourished. He had a family, nice family, and he, did very well. So compared to the place where he was born and where he was raised, and his family and his, the village, he has come a long way, so to speak, because this is just one way of judging things. Just materially I'm talking about. So in such a person's chart, you might see certain good indications which basically tells that he will basically be, somebody like some sort of famous person. He is very well respected in his village because he's the only one who is educated, so on and so forth. These indications will be seen, but it has to be taken with a pinch of grain of salt. The other thing is, you also have to see the planetary combinations in it and then adjust accordingly. Because, there are many parameters. Each parameters have to be applied like an assembly line, and it's like a water flowing, a dirty water or dirty river flowing through a series of filters, and then as it passes through successive filters, it emerges cleaner and different than what it was. In a similar way, you use the different parameters at the right point at the right place, and it will change the ultimate the end reading, the end result. So that's so any other questions?
I have another question regarding Bhadakesha.
Bhadakesha, okay.
Bhadakesha is in Lagna or in any other house. So it gives problems regarding the houses you own or the magnetic carcass of the planet or the way each place.
Bhadakesha is troublemaker, one who gives obstacles. This obstacle works on a mental level. It influences your thinking. It influences your thought process. And so things happen inexplicably. It cannot be traced so easily.
But will that happen in the area of which house that Bhadakesha is occupying?
That is one indication. That say suppose the 11th Lord is the Bhadakesha through friends or through association or through when you're trying to fulfill your desires, you'll feel some kind of obstacle coming in. But this is not always the case. You see the planet's influence, what kind of planet it is, so on and so forth. Mercury through maybe through communication or when you're trying to communicate, or Saturn. What if such a planet is also the Atmakaraka? Then it is something that really has some association with the past life. So,
Bhadakesha is Atmakaraka.
if the Bhadakesh happens to be Atmakaraka, like in my case. But the point is, these are unseen forces and they affect you at the mental level. Like for example, many times you encounter certain situations, you end up, and at the end, you see, you think to yourself, why did I do such a thing? I mean, what made me do such a thing? I shouldn't have done it. You try and understand it logically, but you are unable to explain it. The reason is the Bhadakesh may influence your thinking, your thought process. So Bhadakesh, that's how Bhadakesh works at one level.
He is in a certain Aruda Pada, then Aruda Pada will also be affected?
No. It may, if being the planet, being the lord of the house and all that, it may influence it, but even also in being a Bhadakesha, it will do something. Yeah. But typically, when you're looking at from the Aruda Lagna, you just say, oh, are these benefic planets or these malefic planets, how it is placed, and you take the Naisargika Karakatva and see the influence. Bhadakesha, typically, you should read it from Lagna.
How is it defined?
Bhadakesha, for movable signs, it's the 11th Lord. For fixed signs, it is the 9th Lord. For dual sign, it's the 7th Lord.
Okay, so every chart has some sign.
Or it has to. And it depends upon the type of the sign. Movable, fixed, dual. So that's how it affects it. It will be it's difficult to trace. For example, Bhadakesha's association with the 6th house or the 6th Lord gives problems with black magic.
But what is 7, 9, 11? They all seem to be at least good houses. Why is it harder?
The exact reason is not known as to why these houses are chosen. But it is 11, 9 and 7. There might be some reason to it, the hidden reason. I don't know these. So we answered the questions about the Arudas. Any more questions?
We were discussing Ramakrishna's example just before you walked in.
Okay.
I was saying that, we are talking about his D24 because I told him, look, I see you only in the class, and so I manifest in your D24 only. It has to be my manifestation or my valuation of him can only be seen from his Aruda Lagna in D24, right?
Right.
No, from your man.
Actually, what we were talking is how
Whatever you got, you see from the house from there.
we are trying to get an example from your topic of
Yeah, both mean the same thing. He's saying AL has to be used in D24
D24.
as a reference point.
Oh, yes.
Like something is going to come out of my mouth, so that means whatever is there is right? So the quality of let's say now if I were to say, hey, Ramakrishna is an intelligent guy. Now is that the Graharuda that is manifesting, and is it still Aruda Lagna?
Are you saying it is a house from Aruda Lagna or you are talking about the...
No, we will go through an example of all the 4 categories you talked in the conference again.
Okay.
That will clear, right? Probably.
See, one way to see
One house.
See, the Aruda in D24 stands for how you manifest as far as your education is concerned. When you say manifest, it doesn't mean, it's a very abstract concept. The Aruda Lagna typically shows how one manifests. In the field of education, or in D24, which shows about education, learning and all intellectual pursuits, it defines, first of all, how you rise, how you establish yourself. See, the Aruda Lagna's influence, having positive planets, good planets, typically give a very knowledgeable person. Tamasic planets can give a tendency towards tantra and not exactly a pure sattvic image. But it is something that can be used to understand how a person, as far as intellectually is concerned. At the same time, when you're talking about your impression about him, which you feel should be seen in D24 is correct.
Since I'm seeing the physical body also, that then it implies that the air in Rashi must also be seen.
Right, but then you see, when you look at Aruda Lagna in D24, you will get an impression, or you will understand how the person is intellectually, what drives him, what influences are there, and what knowledge he will have, so on and so forth. Okay, you cannot examine a person's character just based on D24.
But this air is seen only by people in his learning environment or himself.
What you'll know is just one aspect of him as to how his learning procedure is. Do you think he's smart as far as education is concerned? Does he fix things easily?
But no, yeah. But you say qualities of properties, like does he learn quickly? Is he intelligent? That's what he's saying is the Aruda, Graha Aruda, right?
No. That is one. Graha Aruda is possible, but the Graha Aruda is not your impression about him or his impression about you. Graha Aruda shows basically how Graha Aruda is more about relationship. It's not about impression. One can say the relationship is from impressions we get. But it is how a particular Lagna will be disposed towards you as far as knowledge is concerned.
So it's only the individual thing.
Yes.
It's only the individual.
Right. For example, if you take examples later on, we'll see that, let's say, we look at the Graharuda of Aries.
Okay.
And, so Graharuda of Aries or Graharuda of Mars as far as Aries is concerned. And Aries is in the 9th house. And let's say it falls in the 9th house. So, people with Aries Lagna for such a person will be beneficial and will be helpful in guiding. Why guiding? It is in the 9th house. But such a person will be very authoritatively guiding. Because the quality of Mars and Aries will show.
Fatherly.
No, not fatherly. 9th house is guidance. Mars is not fatherly. Mars is very authoritative. Commanding. He will give clear-cut instructions. Do this, do that, do that. Whereas, if the Graharuda of Leo falls in the 9th house, then such a person will be very fatherly, sun father, okay, sun Aries. Let's say if such a house happens to be Aries.
No, I'm not understanding. You are saying relationship between two.
When I say relationship, I mean how they will influence you, how you will influence them, how you will get along
So
with each other.
Graha Aruda is in Aries.
No.
Mars.
The Graharuda of Mars falls in Aries. And let's say Aries is the 9th house.
Okay.
So the Graharuda of Mars falls in the 9th house.
Okay.
The 9th house is a trine, it's favorable. Being the 9th house, it is good for guidance. Such person, you should take guidance from.
Okay. So other people who have Aries Lagna
Anybody who has Aries Lagna.
would be giving protection sort of advice to him or helpful.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it. So that's what Graharuda is used for. At least for now. Because there may be a lot of implications of Graharuda, but I don't know much about it. It's just a limited knowledge I have at this moment. So that is what it means. So right now, I would just say, just focus on this aspect and try and test it in various charts and see how it works. But, you can still make do without Graharuda for the time being. But that's what it shows. For example, when you look at D12, then, how do you analyze father? If I tell you, how do you analyze father? 9th house is the environment. 9th lord, where it is placed, the planets from it, the influences on it.
9 from male.
No.
A9 is your father, physical form.
No, it is not. The 9th lord shows the intelligence, everything, the influence on him. Right? It is the lord. It shows the Paka. And the Paka of the 9th house shows the intelligence that drives the father. Okay, what drives him? Is he a nice person? Is he intellectually driven? Is he artistic? Okay. Now, that is ninth lord. When you want to understand, oh, is he having a good time? Is he having a bad time? Or, he files for bankruptcy. Or he's having health problems. That you read from A9. Because, no, A9 shows results. Results from Aruda. The results have to be seen from Aruda. When you're looking from his ninth lord where it is placed and see, it will show you what he is doing, what he is thinking, what his actions are. Nine. Okay, let's take a chart which you are comfortable with and we'll start. Okay, Ram Krishna.
No, we analyze my mother's health, so that. Let's keep it simple. Let's take one of.
Rather than mother's, see, let's be clear. Let's not confuse everybody. We will take your chart. His chart we are talking about, right? Your chart. Please give the details.
October 21.
Can you see? Should I increase the fonts? Okay, this is clear, right? Because I can't go beyond this. Okay, the birth details for your information is October. Oh, belated happy birthday! October 21st, 1968. Okay, that we'll talk later. 6:31 p.m. And the place is Prodhattur, India. Spelled as Proddattur, which is 78 East 33, 14 North 44. Okay, so we get Aries rising. Okay, now we are looking at D12, right? We want to understand something about mother, father. So in D12, the Lagna rising is Libra. Okay. So how do you analyze a D12? Okay. I will talk something about this, but why don't you guys see? Somebody has presented a chart, you are seeing D12, how will you start analyzing? Don't focus on any one aspect, how will you start analyzing? How will you understand the essence of D12?
Mother from 9,000, mother from 4,000.
That's right. But also the first primary importance should be given to? Yes. So, where is, okay, Lagna is in Libra. Okay. Where is Lagna Lord? 4th house. So, what do you say? You say Lagna Lord is in the 4th house, right? What does that tell you about a person?
Usually it's more attached to his mother.
Yes. So, one indication is the person will try and do something for his mother. Will have some kind of affection which drives him towards his mother.
The intelligence behind that Lagna is Lagna Lord.
In D12 or in any Varga chart, the Lagna shows the self. Lagna shows the self, and the Lagna Lord shows the intelligence pertaining to that aspect, to that environment. Any Varga chart is like a big environment. So the Lagna Lord shows your intelligence as far as, or your actions as far as your parents and all that parental influence, parental guidance, parental relationship is concerned. So when the Lagna Lord goes into the 4th house, you will try and do something for your mother. You will try and you will be affectionate towards your mother.
But is it actions or thoughts?
Action, thoughts and action. See, thoughts and actions. You cannot act on something which you haven't thought.
No, you were thinking, your thoughts might always, his thoughts might always be on his mother or whatever.
Yes.
He might not be able to execute them or do the action.
That's fine. You know, what you can say is, he may be thinking about, he may be affectionate towards his mother. He may try and do something. Whether it will materialize successfully or not, or to what extent, Aruda.
A4, right?
AL, A4, everything.
Okay.
Step by step.
That's
AL.
A4 or A?
AL. Because you're talking about yourself, not your mother. Right? Clear? Okay. So you see, Lagna Lord in the 4th house. Okay. Now, so what is it that we are interested in now? So now let's take a look at the 4th Lord. The 4th Lord is in the 5th house. That's very good. The 4th Lord is in 5th house because you're taking the quadrant Lord in the 5th house. Basically, the 4th Lord shows the mother's intelligence or what drives her, her. And it is in trines to the Lagna. Trines are always auspicious, so that's good. Nothing wrong with that. How is the 9th Lord placed? 9th house, 9th Lord. 9th Lord in the 9th house. So that's not how you should say. 9th house is Gemini. 9th Lord is Mercury placed with Mars. That will give a very good effect. Go step by step. So, the 9th Lord is Mercury. 9th is placed with Mars. Okay. 9th Lord in 9th house is good. It is once again a trine. So, both the Lords are in trine. So, you can safely assume that one thing is, it's a pretty decent relationship as far as parents are concerned. But, that's just one aspect. That's just step one. Mars there, basically Mercury and Mars are not the best of friends. Mars shows, we all know what Mars shows. Mercury shows a very analytical, intelligent, logical person. Mercury, but Mars is in Mercury's house. So Mercury will try and control Mars. Right?
The nature of Mercury will try to be act as a Mars. Right?
No, that is different. That is when results are given. That is when results are given, not now. When you are analyzing, Mercury is Mercury, Mars is Mars. When you are talking about when the results will be given, then you can say Mercury will give the results of Mars, Mars will give the results. No. In general, Mercury is Mercury. Then why did the Mercury, we gave the planet, I mean there is a planet called Mercury and it is called Mercury. Just because it is sitting with Mars doesn't become Mars.
But
It gives,
becomes benefit if it's associated with benefit planet.
see, that is, we'll take it step by step. See, also understand, yes, you're right. I think the point you're trying to say is, Mercury being influenced by the planets, that's how you should say.
Okay.
Be very clear. Mercury being with malefic planet will try and be a malefic planet, but also understand two things. One, it is in Gemini, its own house. Two, it is retrograde. Retrograde planet is full of strength. It is as strong as an exalted planet. Cheshtabala. Cheshtabala means to try. So such a planet is not going to give up. Hence, we have to be very careful in doing that exchange of relationship or exchange of roles, and to understand when a particular planet will be influenced by another planet. The rules are still not clear. I personally feel that a retrograde planet will stand on its own. In fact, in one of the Brigu books, 3 or 4 sages are discussing a chart. And the person had Jupiter in the 5th. So one says, so Karaka Bhavanasya, the other says Saturn is aspect, he will have no child. Then Parvati or Shakti comes and says, no, you are all wrong. This person will definitely have a child because Jupiter is retrograde. So that Cheshtabala is very unpredictable because a retrograde planet is not conforming to the rules of Sun and Moon, who always are direct. They go separately. So we have to be very careful in understanding the retrograde planets. We have to give some respect. Now, for example, Narasimha is Jupiter and Mercury, both retrograde. Okay, only Jupiter, yes. I have both. So Jupiter is retrograde. Okay, now, my point is, don't mix two things together. Let's take step by step. You are right, but the only thing is, there are some exceptions which if you club together it will be very difficult to understand. But that is just one aspect. You also have to see, we analyze the fourth lord, it is in trine. We analyze the ninth lord, it is well placed in trine. But now see how the lord is placed, Lagna lord, and see the relationship with the fourth lord and the ninth lord.
We didn't finish with the Mercury with Mars. Why? We only went to the extent of saying Mercury is in his own house, and his influence or is associated with Mars.
Mars, that is enough for the time being. Now see how the Lagna lord is placed in D12. Who is the Lagna lord? Venus. How is it placed from Saturn? And is it, first of all, is it a natural friend of Saturn and Mercury? Yes, both are friends. Okay, so let's not go deep into analyzing their Tatkarika. It's fairly decent. Although it is more of a friend with Saturn than Mercury, because it is in that 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4 from each other. Okay?
Temporary relation. Compound relationship.
Yeah, compound relationship. Basically, you take the natural relationship, then you take the temporary relationship.
Yeah, you get 2 plus 2.
Yes. That is just one way of understanding. Plus 2. Yes, Adimita. Yes. Okay, now, see, now you guys tell me, how is Venus placed from these lords? Tell me.
One is second house, second is sixth house.
Do it very methodically. You should not say one is second. You should say, Venus, the Lagna lord, is in the 12th from the 4th lord Saturn.
Okay.
You should try and introduce this habit. It will help your thinking. Repeat.
Venus is 12th house from the Saturn.
Venus, the Lagna lord,
is with 12th house from the 4th house lord.
4th lord of Saturn. And now go on with the 9th lord.
Venus being Lagna lord is 8th house from the 9th house lord, 9th lord Mercury.
Right. Okay. So we know that it is in a Dushtana from both. Just because it is in Dushtana, we are not going to jump into conclusions. It might mean many things. It might mean physical separation also. That you are separated, that is also shown. So we cannot say that the relationship is bad. But it does, the distance does affect relationship. Your son is in India. Nevertheless, he is in India. You have a nice relation, but still you miss him and all that. So on.
In fact, even just a window in time. It's not like
It will show generally what the circumstances is going to be. I have my 9th lord in 8th house. When I was born, my father was away. I used to see him for the first 25 years of my life. I used to see him once in 3 months. In a year. Once in a year for 3 months. For 9 months he was away. And when he retired, I came here. And we've been seeing once in 4 years, 2 years. So it proves. There is some truth to it. But then you're right. You're right in the sense that as time passes and when it is aligned in a favorable position, then you will tend to spend time together, at least the distance wise. Okay, so now going back to this question, we did analyze the Lagna lord in the 4th house being the 12th, in the 12th to the 4th lord, and in the 8th to the 9th lord. Now, that's fine. It's not bad, but let's leave it at that. Okay, now what do we want to analyze? We want to analyze the mother. We want to analyze her personality. What drives her, how her actions are going to be. One step. So how do you analyze? See, I am going to touch the basics because it is very important. And it never hurts to go back to the basics. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So how do we analyze the fourth law? Now, how do you analyze the mother? From the fourth law. So one of you start. Anybody, even if it is wrong, it's okay. We don't care. Making mistakes is good as long as we learn from it. So we'll break it into two teams, and this team and the whole of that team. So
You are Mercury.
so this team, you will focus on mother, and I want you guys to focus on the father. So mother always comes first, so let's start with this group. So analyze the mother. So go step by step. Which house represents mother? Which is the sign here? Who is the lord of it? Where is it placed? So that becomes the lagna, and now you analyze the mother. What does it show?
She is very intelligent, like sixth house has Mercury in the phone.
Okay. So you should say lagna is, first of all, start with lagna. So lagna of the mother.
Even though I'm in a different team, but how come they took Aquarius as Lagna? Yeah, because the fourth lord now it's completely different. Like fourth house has to be Lagna, and Lagna lord can be placed anywhere, right?
No. Because you have to understand it from the Paka lagna. You have to take the fourth lord as a reference and analyze from it.
Paka and Tika and but now it's like just a reference point, right? Lagna is still every chance.
Lagna, you see, the fourth house shows the environment and all that, where she was and how she was.
Now he's saying the mother Lagna, not the native Lagna. Native Lagna is unchanged. Native Lagna is unchanged.
Native Lagna.
But what he is saying is that the fourth house becomes the Lagna.
He is saying the fourth house should be taken a reference, and I am saying the fourth lord should be taken the reference.
I think the fourth lord should be taken because the analysis with Rajiv Gandhi also for.
Okay, anyway, I'll
Yes.
sorry, don't take the Paka actually in
Only people.
in D3 and D7.
Everywhere.
Actually take the sign itself as the Lagna of the parents.
No.
And the same thing in Navamsha, right? So in seventh house in Navamsha, right?
But you have to analyze the person. The person is alive.
Right?
The person is not a situation or circumstances or anything. It is, that person is alive. The person, Graha represents people.
Right?
Graha represents people. So you analyze it from the Lord, not from the house. And the house also shows various influence. But the Lord I found is very accurate. So now analyze from Aquarius. So Lagna Lord in Lagna. So some kind of Mahapurusha. But Mahapurusha has many meanings. Such a Mahapurusha. But let's say Lagna Lord is a very fairly smart lady. Perhaps having good health. Okay. Saturn and Ketu there, right? Okay. And Venus has some kind Venus at least is in the sign of Saturn, and Saturn carries some kind of influence of Venus with it. So Tapasvi Yoga. So such a person is going to be hardworking and passionate. They'll work hard without care about what's happening around them. Not everybody is like that. For me, it's slightly called, okay, I'll study tomorrow. Or I'll go to the temple tomorrow. Or, I'll not do my japa today. I don't feel like. But such people are not like that. They will withstand all kinds of weather or all kinds of situations. So, but do you know why it is called Tapasvi Yoga?
Yeah, Saturn, Venus and Ketu.
Yes.
These combination gives Tapasya.
Yeah, I know that.
Saturn is hard work and Ketu is like
Detached.
And to do Tapasya, you need passion. Without passion,
Yes.
you cannot, there is no persistence. Or
Yeah,
perseverance.
exactly. So actually the story is based on Bhrigu, who hung upside down from a tree and did his penance. Upside down, Ketu. that hard work Saturn and the enthusiasm, the passion Venus, he is Bhrigu Maharaj, which is so. So Saturn, so such a person, okay. Now, going back to your point, you see the fifth house for one's mental inclinations and mental prowess, abilities. Yes, but this is, we don't need to go because you are her children. Yeah, this is a deadlock. Then from there the fourth house once again. So, the fifth house has the influence of Mars and Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury and Mars give sharp intellect. In a sign Mercury, in the sign of Mercury sign, aspected by Jupiter, knowledgeable. So, that person can be a tapasvi, hardworking person, intelligent and wise. The influence of Jupiter will give wisdom. But these are just broad strokes. This may or may not be true. If it is not true, then you go back and ask and then change the lagna accordingly. But, I mean, this is just still a superficial. We have to see many things. Okay. So if you take the 10th house has sun in it, the person has pride in his work. Okay, the 7th lord in 10th, sun is the 7th lord. The 7th means that such a person will try and do things what he wants to or what he or she wants to. That's why the 7th house is the business. The karma is involved. Desire. Also the other is, yeah. So these are just broad strokes about mother. Now the question is this true or not? We have made, huh? No. First of all, you ask, is this true?
But this is more bhava, right?
What?
What we are discussing is more bhava.
How she works, how she thinks, how she acts.
Not be the Aruda, right?
That is different. We'll go to it later.
Okay, but by asking him, you are
by asking him, he would only know the Aruda will got manifested and he will say, yeah, I don't know whether she thought this way or not, but this is what it is.
No. He will know that my mother is hardworking.
Well, it's still lying here, the separate, Satya and I am sure that, I know that Ramakrishna, we are talking about Ramakrishna and, his mother. But again, Ramakrishna's perceptions about his mother, like, always closely to the reality.
Yeah, that is going to influence.
what you are trying to check, right?
So that is going to affect the Graha Ruda. Can somebody just close the door for once and for all? Thank you. It's done. That you have to see from the Graha Ruda, because that is very important, because the person's perception will also play. Yes.
Or is there an exception when you're talking about the spouse or even the children?
No. I mean, everybody has an impression, and perception does play a role, but it also shows how the relationship is going to be with each other. But these things are independent. A person may be hardworking, right? A person may not get along with his mother. Even that doesn't change the fact that it is going to be hardworking. But it is going to also affect some way in how he perceives his mother. He may say he's hardworking, but she's not nice, he'll say. That's a different thing. That nice and all are qualitative attributes, which are...
They come from
No,
The
but
person.
what you mean, if what you just now said, all of this, if you were looking from A4, then he would be able to say, yes, this is my mother.
No.
But
A4 is say what will manifest in the whether it will be good or bad. When I say manifest, you are seeing the result from it.
yes,
You are applying for
that is what you are asking now.
No.
When you are
No,
asking,
she's actually saying from the intelligence, right? So it's,
The actions.
how can he testify for that?
What do you mean? Do you know your mother?
truth, right?
Is she hardworking or not?
Okay, that way.
She works hard. Let's say such a person, she gets up at 4 a.m. She cooks for everybody. She does her groceries. She comes, does the afternoon breakfast. She goes out for the market in the 6. prepares the evening breakfast and goes to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. How can you say such a person is lazy?
Okay. This is all can be seen from
Lord.
the Lord or the Paka of the mother.
Yes.
The fourth house.
Fourth Lord. Yeah. The Paka of the fourth house. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So, now, what do you have to say?
Something about this health. She is not good health. She has
Okay. Okay.
They have analyzed the health here.
No, see, hold on.
What we talked about.
Yeah. He's correct. Actually, he said,
Hold on.
he said,
See, what we said is, okay, Lagna Lord is the Lagna, the person may have good health. There are other factors. Ketu is in the Lagna. Okay, Saturn is retrograde.
Saturn gives lungs problem.
Says who? No, that is too many levels of interaction. But just
Yeah,
just
mother side.
must.
Saturn is also Marka.
No, we
How
have
is it Mark?
He's also second lord.
No.
12th lord. You said we take okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're taking the Lord as a reference point. Now, so what do you have to say? What is your feedback?
About this intelligence, I'm not sure because he never studied.
Oh, see, that's another thing.
Why don't you say some words about your mother?
No.
Like 5 weeks start about your mother.
No, the thing is,
No, I'm
the person.
what we discussed.
No, hold on one second. Let's do it one separate. Let's not confuse everybody. The thing is, educate. You know, just because a person is not educated doesn't mean such a person is not intelligent. For every activity, intelligence is required, right? You know, take the right path, take the shortest path from here to Boston or whatever. Every action is driven by intelligence. So, let's not go into the fact that she is not educated. Most of our grandmothers are not educated, but they have a lot of common sense, which is not common.
We have sharp intelligence, right?
The presence of Mars and Mercury can give,
Along with Jupiter's aspect,
Yes.
somebody who is very wise and very sharply
so the person may be,
comes to common activities. You see her doing, let us say, something in a very efficient way.
Yeah, like if some people keep asking her for advice and she
That
included
kind of
that.
thing, yeah.
Yes?
That is the type of thing.
are you sure?
No, 100%.
Okay.
And even now she guides many people. My assistant.
Exactly.
If she's not
Yes.
intelligent, she won't be.
I beg your pardon?
No, she can't do that unless
She's, influence on the fifth house is very important. Okay. So there are so what else can you tell about? In fact, now tell about, and now we'll ascertain whether these, because what happens is, you cannot read everything from the chart, in the sense you cannot keep talking. Then at some point, that person will say, she's like this. Then we can go into the chart and say, does this make sense? Okay.
More spiritual, that is there.
Spiritual,
Very
okay.
spiritual, I mean, she tends to go a lot of time, Vairagyam kind of.
Vairagyam is which? Tapasya. The Tapasya Yoga, Saturn, Ketu will give Vairagyam.
Yes, not materialistic.
Yes.
Saturn and moon is the gravity of Saturn and moon.
What is that? Oh, that. If they are together, they are the best. What you have a good point. Saturn and moon. See, when you get that Vairagyam, that detachment, that moon has to be afflicted. Typically, the moon, such a person will do very good in tapasya, because nobody will just say, you're born, you're 10 years old, you're enjoying, you're going to the shopping mall, having ice cream, and then you'll just say, okay, now I'll do tapasya. It's just when people go through troubles in life, then they seek for real long-term solution, not just, buy some camera on TV and you feel good for 2 hours. But, so meditation, tapasya, mantra and everything. So the influence of moon, affliction of moon, but the point is, this is not his mother's chart. Right? So here moon is not the mind. Moon is just the lord of Cancer. So it is the sixth lord in 7. Right? As the sixth lord in 7, it can give problems in relationship. So such a person will also maintain purity. Because, you see, apart from mental purity, physical purity can also be maintained by such a person. And that's another point. So these are things that you can learn. So now let's analyze team B. Let team B analyze, yes.
One question, since they made a point that Saturn is in Manakatapana, but Saturn also happens to be
See, that is,
and a trinal lord. So how was his mother's health entering the...
see, that health problem is Marana Karakspana. That is one.
What can you say about A4?
What? We'll go there.
I want to understand this.
No, we have
You want?
Oh, you go to okay.
Yeah. See, as I said, we have to do it step by step. Let's not run.
So let me...
Because you will run and then you'll come back again.
Everything with mother.
No, we have.
Okay.
Okay, team B.
No, this is still related.
Okay.
Let me take the health out. So what does these two conflicting things mean with respect to with respect to the part of the...
What conflicting?
Yeah, there is
Lagna Lord in Lagna and Manaka.
Okay. Oh, that way.
yeah.
Lagna Lord in Lagna is typically good.
Yes.
Yes. It will give good health or good intelligence depending on other factors. Okay. But if it is in Marana Karakstana, it will typically affect the health in general pertaining to the Lagna. It will affect it in a negative way. So in that affliction we saw in terms of health.
When we are...
Right.
Can I take care of the other house? But where it is, it can take care of that house.
No.
It is in Lagna.
So it is in Marana Karakstana with respect to that Lagna, right? So here Aquarius suffers. But that is just one. The other Lord of Aquarius is? Have you analyzed that? No? So you can also get an understanding of her personality from Rahu. Being Lagna Lord in the 7th house, she will try and be social. But is this true? Is she a social person?
No.
Okay, so Saturn prevails.
It just attached to the house.
Yeah, see, it can show many things. One is attachment towards the spouse, but here we are not talking about the spouse. It's like we are talking about his mother and her spouse, which is nothing but her husband. That is one. You have to look at the general attribute of 7th house, relationship. In her chart, in his mother's chart, then we can say spouse. But here we can say relationship.
So let's try.
Yes. How she maintains a relationship, what is her attitude. Lagna Lord going to, such a person is very social because he is going to the 7th house where he has many influence. Fickle-minded. Fickle. She is fickle-minded. Okay. You know what fickle-minded means?
Means the thing, wavering.
Wavering. Not resolute.
Not wavering.
Then, so that is one indication. But also Saturn is in Marana Karakstana. So you cannot, Saturn usually gives firm resolution. Saturn is the opposite of Moon. Moon keeps on changing, right? Fast moving planet. Mercury also, always here or there. But Saturn is a steady planet. It will not change its opinion. It will hold on to its opinion. It will take a long time to change its opinion. Steady, fixed concentration. These are qualities of Saturn. But it is in Marana Karakstana, so that can also be shown. The fact that that attribute is reduced, the quality of the attribute is reduced. Okay. Now let's go back to the ninth lord and analyze the father.
Ninth lord, Mercury, from Lagna lord,
So we say ninth house is Gemini.
ninth house is Gemini.
Ninth lord is placed there. So that becomes the Lagna. Now analyze father.
Father should be intelligent because of Mercury in his own house
Right,
and also being Gemini.
right.
And he is with the Mars, so he has an influence of being aggressive,
Yes, assertive, aggressive.
assertive and aggressive.
But Mercury is retrograde, so it will try and prevail over Mars. So mercurial attribute will prevail. So typically such people are very assertive. Because if you take that as the Lagna, Gemini, the sixth lord is in Lagna.
Does it show Demon Flame, Lagna Lord and sixth lord together?
In a way. Typically, Hemanta Yoga is fifth.
Lagna Lord either in third house or sixth house.
See, anytime the influences of 5, 6 or Lagna, there is some kind of Hemanta Yoga. The sixth lord is not a fully Hemanta Yoga, but you know, it's there. So you see Mercury and Mars, so the person may be assertive. Okay, the person may be assertive, dynamic. What else? The person can be very hardworking. Hardworking in the sense that hardworking not like what we analyzed his mother, but he will work hard in the sense of removing the obstacle. So you see some malefic influences on the third and sixth. You have Rahu in third and Sun in sixth. Fighter as in, I'll get my thing done.
Plus also,
I'll work towards it.
also Saturn in 10th will basically make him hardworking.
Saturn in ninth,
Saturn in 9th.
that influence is also there. Saturn in ninth, you can say traditionalist, but there is also Saturn. Okay, Saturn is strong, fairly strong. The person may be, you look at the trines and see which one is stronger. Mercury is stronger, Mercury will prevail. Saturn's influence there will say, that person may not lean towards too much of blind faith. Will be initially skeptical like Saturn, but will be very sincere in that sense. Saturn, when he doubts, is because of, he has a doubt. Not because he wants to create doubts or prove anything. Like Rahu. Rahu is different that way.
And maybe kept on moving throughout his life from one place to another. The Badakesh is in the fourth house.
That is true. Badakesh in the fourth house shows some kind of instability as far as home is concerned. So that might manifest that when he was a child, or may throughout his life. So that is one. So what can you say about his occupation? Education, maybe.
Some kind of consulting.
So that is one. The other is 10th lord in the fourth house. The fourth house is learning, but also it also shows doctor, nursing, doctoring. Yeah, the Karaka is moon and Mercury, healing. Fourth house is healing.
So he could be teaching in, could be
Even in agriculture.
Yes.
Virgo is
No. The fourth house, Virgo, all contribute to being a farmer, farm kind of thing, going to the farm, doing the stuff. Okay.
but it is Jupiter there, so does it not give a dictating quality in that field?
Yes.
That means it's not like a farmer.
He'll-
It's not in the farmer.
It'll be
More in teaching or
No, like for example, it's like saying all farmers don't have Jupiter. The Jupiter influence will just show the extent, the knowledge.
The
So he'll-
absence or the influence.
No, I mean, No, the point is, farmers are also intelligent, and they use their intelligence in a nice way. So that's how it will show up. So now give some feedback.
His job is a moving job, all the time traveling.
So that is right. So the Bhadakesh influences
farmers.
He teaches farmers.
He's an education instructor for farmers.
So we have done everything. So you see how you analyze step by step. See,
Education instructor for farmers.
so this is amazing. So the point is, we did not jump to conclusion. We did not try and club multiple parameters together. We took one and analyzed how it made an effect. So that way things become very clear. And you know what the role of each parameter is. Are you happy? It's all the Lord. All actions. We did not say he was successful or not. We did not say did he have health problem. All that will come from Aruda. So now let's analyze A4. P May. No, Dwadasamsa. His mother. That's okay. Okay, the joke here is A4 and A9 are together. So now, okay, let's tackle it together. So what does it mean that the A4 and A9 are together? So it may show that the destinies are very closely linked. Very closely. But one might give a counter argument. Aren't parents' destinies always together? That's why they are husband and wife. But not always. I recently was consulted by somebody, and he said that I looked at his chart. I said, your mother was everything to you. Your father it was as if he was not there. He's an Indian. He said, you're right. But you see, the destinies are far apart. And in that case, the 4th Lord and the 9th Lord are the same. It was Aquarius rising, with Venus being the 4th Lord and 9th Lord. Yet they are different. So the A4 and A9 together mean their fates are very closely, because the results will be the same for both. So what will be experienced by the father will be experienced by the mother. But that doesn't mean the health problems and all that. For that we have to see many other parameters. But if your father undergoes trouble, your mom will feel the same thing. If something happens to your mom, the same thing will happen to her. Yes?
For the mother, A4 is in the 2nd house, whereas the father is in the 10th house. I mean, the A9 for him falls in the 10th house. If we are talking about A9, they are together in one house, but they are relatively different from their respective lagnas.
A4 with respect to me, right?
No.
So are we considering with respect to him? We are considering the A4 from their individual lagnas now.
No, A4 from the Lagna.
From native lagna.
Then D12 Lagna.
If you
Because
look at your phone, but with respect to Aquarius, right? Because
What is the difference for us? We take the mother.
you are right. That is one way of looking at things. How these Arudas are placed from the individual Lagnas. So for A4, it's placed in 2nd from Aquarius.
But also there's another thought here from previous classes that I remember is these Arudas will only play as far as the native chart is concerned. Once we take one indirection of parent or grandparent, everything, don't carry these Arudas there because they don't have much relevance once you cross a boundary here.
No, that is for going another level of interaction. But for A4 and 9, they do play a role.
So we can
See, for example, you will analyze her sister and her, mother's sister.
or do you go about
Because-
calculating the Aruda of the 4th house?
Okay,
Taurus,
yes,
no?
like
We
this.
don't do that. From Saturn, the 4th house is Taurus.
No,
You don't, because that's mother. Yeah.
exactly. So, see, this is the 4th house. You take the A4 is just like AL for mother. A9 is just like AL for father. So let's analyze A4 and A9. It is in Pisces. It is in the 6th house.
Top better
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, so A4 and A9 are in Pisces.
Both are six from Lagna.
6 from Lagna, that is not good.
Not good.
Just the general, how things manifest are in Shashtrashtaka. Shadastaka or Shashtrashtaka. So it is in the 6th house. It can mean many things. It can mean growth. It can also mean separation. Some kind of turbulence is there. And the Lord is also in the 12th from Lagna. Jupiter. So, not exactly the best, but still, so what is it that we want to analyze now? The question is, see, when you say A4 and A9 are together in Pisces, both will have a Piscean, will be very humble, nice, knowledgeable. Of course, you'll say your mom is not educated, but you see, people come to her for a guidance. Right? That Piscean.
So both are givers to the
right. Like for example, his father teaches, his mother gives advice to him. The Pisces rising.
Pisces rising, but the Lord of
the Pisces, the Arudas are in Pisces. So take the quality of Pisces, sign of Maharishi.
Yeah.
That's where we learn everything from, right? So the Piscean will dominate. The Piscean ambient. See, the thing is, when you're trying to understand from Lagna or Lagna Lord, it will show what drives within you or what drives you. But that may not end up being manifesting. See, for example, if you take Padmaja's chart, she has, Venus, Libra rising. A person's chart who has Libra rising, Mars in the 4th house, Ruchaka Mahapurusha Yoga, influence of Sun on the Lagna, the person has tremendous energy. That's what drives that person. But the person's Aruda Lagna is in Gemini. So she is very friendly, social. Isn't this true?
Yeah, that's true.
Similarly, this is all individual thing which drives the person, which we analyze right now. The hardworking thing is what drives that person. But as far as what actually manifests as an entity, like the person may be, as far as the final results are concerned, whether you like the person or how they come across, how all that energy that drives you finally manifests, will be seen from the Aruda, including the results.
Oh, he's a student. Yeah, he's a